What's going on, guys and girls? It's good to see you out there on the Speak and See Show. I ask you to like, subscribe, click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. I have some awesome news in case you haven't heard. Who hasn't heard? I think even the president of Ukraine has heard this news. The Bucs just got Tom Brady back. Thank you, Lord. He is answering my prayers once again. And if y'all don't know, I am a humongous Bucs. During football season, you don't see me as much. Put it that way. Got my number 12 on. A lot of you might think that that's Tom Brady. Well, it's not Tom Brady here. This is Chris Godwin. Here. See that? It's Chris Godwin. He gave Tom Brady his number 12 when Tom Brady came over, right? I'm not a bandwagon fan. I am a Bucs fan. I was going for the Bucs when they sucked, when we were the Succaneers. And just knowing that we had, one, got Godwin back, two, we got Brady back. Now I can wear my jersey this year, which is great. And it makes perfect sense. Once again, man, I am so excited about this news. I hope everybody out there is having a blessed time. I hope you had a great weekend. And we got the loans deferred for 6 more months. And as far as working on idle loans, keep being forgiven, we're going to be working on that. I'm sure Jason McElhone has that first on his mind too. I've seen his videos and I've seen his tweets. He's going to be working with us on that too. So shout out to my boy out there. And those $10,000 idle grants, getting that policy map removed. Good things can happen when you least expect them. So somebody say, hey, I want my 10K.
Yeah.
Somebody say, hey, we want a 10K.
Yeah.
Hey, we want a 10K. Hey guys and girls, as you can see, I kind of changed the background back to blue because that's normally my background. I changed it to red to represent the Buccaneers. Thank you again, Tom Brady. I'm going to change it back to red. How about that? I just got this little remote control that I use. I got a couple lights around the room. Okay. And see, it's that easy. Change it from red to blue to whatever. I can darken this. I darken my face. And it looks really cool like that. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, go back on. A little lower there. Oh, that's subtle. That's nice and soft. And it's red and will represent the Bucs today. Hi, guys. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I hope you are a little bit more relieved as far as this idle loan deferment now being deferred for the 6 months. And if we notice the timeline on that 6 months, we've seen the 13 senators that signed it, and we noticed most of those guys, a lot of them are up for re-election. So they put their name on that in order to say, hey, I helped you out here. Well, thank you. We do appreciate that. But I also want to make it clear that we've been asking for this help for a very long time. We haven't gotten it. We took an extra hard push in the last 3 weeks to go forward and really start getting with our senators and congressmen. And we have finally seen them come around in the form of a letter to Guzman, defer these loans for another 6 months. I'm throwing this one out there, guys. This is another one that's just going to go way off the beaten path. Kind of like this deferment was kind of off the beaten path. But here's my idea. If you all want to join me in this, let me know in the comments down below if you like it. If you think it's workable, we want to make sure we can do things for the small business industries, for your businesses out there, for you alone in your personal finances. If this makes sense, let me know. If it doesn't, I will try another route. But what I was hoping to do next, we're seeing the idle, and this is about the idle loan deferments. We saw them just postponed for 6 months, and literally it was done overnight. If you all don't know, it was done literally on the 10th. The letter was sent to Guzman on the 9th, signed by 19 senators, including Chuck Schumer with his own press release on the 10th that came out, which on that day also was the day that we were seeing our loans deferred in our KWeb account. Where's the KWeb account? Well, if you go to pay.gov, which is where you're going to go in to make your payments for your loans. If you go to pay.gov, scroll down a little bit until you see a link that says KWeb, C-A-W-E-B. Click on that. You'll have to open an account, and then you'll see when your first due date is. So hopefully that helps you all out there. I had a lot of people saying, hey, where's my KWeb? I don't know where the KWeb is. I can't see. I'm not seeing my deferment. You'll see it there. It's there. But let me get back to what I'm saying, and that's how you get to it. Let me get back to what I'm saying is that knowing now what we know, that Guzman does have the authority with the stroke of a pen to literally make this happen overnight with a senator's voice saying, do it, especially if Ben Cardin's his signature is on there, because he's He's the do it guy. So she can literally get the word from a congressman or woman in the House or the Senate saying, look, you need to defer. She makes a judgment call on that. She goes forth and strokes it out. So she did it for 6 months like that. I have a feeling she's going to do it for another 6 months come election time like that, depending on how the Democrats are pushing on it and how the Republicans. If the Republicans are looking favorable and they're making more of a push to get it out there, she might not, just to say, hey, they didn't do it. They couldn't do it. So we're looking at the Democrats making the push for this to happen, as we were last couple of years, and they haven't until now. Crucial moment. We saw it happen. So here's the deal. If she can push it over for 6 months, she could push it over for a year. If she can push it over for a year, she can push it over for another year. She would be continuing to push this out and over with the stroke of a pen. And once again, we keep that in mind. And I'm saying, yes, interest is going to accrue. It's going to accrue. It's going to accrue. I get that. If you want to start paying your loans now, if they do end up forgiving it, you would probably be reimbursed of what you paid in. But what I'm saying right now is, if they deferred this thing for 30 years, and then finally within that 30 years, a forgiveness plan came along to forgive these loans, because who knows where our economic status will be in that time, where America will stand, it can be done once again by the stroke of a pen, because it's not more money they have to put out. This money is out. It is spent. There's still like $40 billion left to be spent. The businesses are still acquiring right now in their loans. There's a lot of money out there for you guys who have not received your loans yet. There's plenty out there. There's a lot in the economic injury disaster loan program. There's still a lot of money in there. They're not going to put more money into that COVID economic injury disaster loan, which is when your date had to be within the time frame of 2019 and 2020 as to when you started your business. In there, you would still be looking at a economic injury disaster loan as long as it was before pre-pandemic. Then you can get the economic injury disaster loan for your businesses. You can't get that economic injury disaster loan for your businesses if it was post-pandemic, after the EIDL program had already been established. Then you started a business afterwards. You can't do it. It just isn't there. But they do have 7A loans that you can go after. There's still SBA loans that will help those businesses. The interest rate is just higher. So if they were to, once again, I'm putting this out there, extend the loans for 6 months, which we've seen. However, it's crucial for November. This November is such a crucial time. And it's basically going to be more towards like October, because once October hits, we're going to be hearing about racism. We're going to be hearing about, these other issues outside of small businesses. But before that, they want to hit the small businesses with this little, it's not big newsworthy, but it's very vote-worthy news that they'll be putting out and trying to get across to the voters. They'll be saying it in their speeches. That's why Warnock was voted in. If y'all remember, we were literally doing doing the live voting that night for Warnock and Ossoff when they took the seats in the Senate for Georgia. He said that he was going to be coming forth and putting our EIDL loans in place, getting that grant put forth. Once again, we made a push for more money into the American Heroes Act to get more money for EIDL grants. Most people were out there saying it ain't going to happen. Well, we pushed hard enough. We got the money for the EIDL grants. They put a stipulation in that saying it's only for those located in this specific area, enforcing a policy map upon small businesses such as you and me, and leaving people in one zone, giving people in one purple zone the grant, the fullness of the grant, the full 10,000, along with the 5,000 supplemental, which supplemental would not continue. We wouldn't see the supplemental. That's out of the picture. That was put in the American Heroes Act, not the CARES Act. So we can look at the $10,000 EIDL grant as the promise that was made to us, and the policy map left us out. So we could still see an implementation of that $10,000 EIDL grant come back in, because the word's been out there that small businesses that have been rejected of this money and denied this grant because of their location, because of where they were located in the United States. It kept them out of it, which is probably you that are still watching videos like this saying, yeah, I didn't get my 10K. And you know what? We're still going to be pushing for that 10K. But it's imperative that we push for this forgiveness, once again, and more deferment if possible. This is a big one. 6 months is we were asking them for a year. They gave us 6 months. They met us in the middle. If we can ask them for another 6 months, hopefully they can do that and not say, okay, no, we're only going to give you 3 more months. And they might just check on the Economic Times whether they're going to do this or not. That's a lot of money we're asking for here, people. That's a lot of money that the small businesses are asking for. And it's kind of a bind that it's kind of a lot of people are saying, no, we can't do that because it's not fair to the taxpayers who have to really pay it, because it's not free money. We get that. It's not free money. It's going to, the taxpayers like you and me, with our small business taxes that go into the taxes every year, will be paying for our loans via taxes already. So we're kind of in a double whammy here, but that's just how it is. This is how America works. The strong help the weak. And so if the stronger businesses are out there still making good money and they got this big loan to move forward and start making more money, it would be like free money. So a lot of people are against seeing EIDL loans forgiven completely. Now, as far as a portion of that EIDL loan being forgiven, that would be a victory as well. How much of a portion? Hopefully $150,000 or less. That's not a bad start, really, for all those businesses out there that need that $150,000 that were in that bracket. That would be a really good start, because that's more like the PPP lending was doing. It was giving those PPP loans. And a lot of this forgiveness is being also thrown to the wayside due to the fact that PPP loans were given in such a substantial amount. So you may be able to see loan forgiveness. However, if you got a PPP loan for, say, $150,000 up to $500,000, you may not be, and that was forgiven, you may not be able to say, okay, I want my EIDL loan forgiven too, because it would be kind of like a double dip. You went in here, you got your PPP forgiven over here, now you're getting your EIDL loan, and that's an extremely large amount of money for the government just to be handing out, because it does have to be paid by the taxpayer. No matter how we look at it, it's not a free money. It's not lazy money. Americans are not lazy, and I don't agree personally with giving money to people who aren't working, to people who are lazy. Small businesses are the hardest workers in the world. We agree with giving money to people who earn money. That's why we're here, because we are hard workers and diligent, and you are a hard worker. You're diligent in your job. Most of you out there are, at least. I can't vouch for everybody out there being hard workers. There are some people that are trying to buck the system here. I get it. And we shouldn't let that happen. But for them to say, close your doors, and you see a decrease in your revenues to a portion to where you can't really even operate, and things just change so dramatically, that's not free money when they give it to you to be sustained and to keep your business afloat until we get back into the groove of things. And right now, with the economy, with the wars that are going on, with the gas prices that are going on, with even going to the grocery store, or even businesses that have to buy goods where it's twice as much as they were buying, twice as much cost as they were buying before for their product to sell, and they can't up the price twice as much, or they won't get the customers. So they're taking a big loss on profits. And so hopefully we can see this EIDL loan forgiven to an extent, at least to where we can relieve some of that pressure that has been really hit hard on the American small businesses. And with these EIDL grants, what I could honestly see, a person wrote in my Twitter not long ago, was that, and I've already said this, and I believe Jason McElhone has said it, that we could see this $10,000 EIDL grant be like taken off of our loan as part of forgiveness. Okay, if you did not get the EIDL loan because of your location, or if you did not get the EIDL grant because of your location, $10,000 in total. If you got $1,000, another $9,000 will be taken off of your loan. That could go towards your interest or whatever it was that you accrued in this as well. I'm just saying that could be part of them at least taking their promise and making good on the promise to the American people. That would pretty much wash that up. Then they could come forth and give forgiveness on another percentage. All of it, maybe not. Some of it, hopefully, yes. Half of it, great. Anything that they can do for small businesses. We're reasonable people. For me to say, look, I've suffered such a loss that you just need to forgive everything that you've ever given me, that would be great. That would be wonderful. Let's be honest, let's be reasonable, and stay transparent about this. Would it be right? Maybe not all of it. If I can pay some back and pay back what was given to me in a time I need it, that's fine too. But I'm just saying that we've got to be reasonable. We've got to meet them somewhere, and we can't just be those people who are trying to milk the government for money. That's, at least I'm not that kind of person. And I don't believe that 99% of the honest small businesses out there are either. So, but I do see forgiveness for those under 150,000. And then maybe above that, the 150,000 you take off of theirs as well. They can pay the rest. Maybe a certain percentage can be deducted for this or that due to economic injury. That would be great. So we're just going to go with our gut on this, go with our heart, and try to get the right thing to be done in Congress and the Senate to pass some legislation so that these EIDL loans can be forgiven. If it's somebody out there got a smaller EIDL loan, just a smaller business, just to keep them going, let's see if, let's start low and work our way up and see what we can do for these what more we can do for the small businesses just to help them out and get them past this curve. Because right now the economy is still in a really unstable position, and just to see this deferment alone was very big. I was stressing about it for the last 3 weeks, and not stressing for myself, but for all of you out there that I knew the loan was coming due. I was like, okay, we got to do something. We got to do it now. And we weren't staying silent about it. We were going out there. We were talking to the congressmen. We were talking to our senators, and we were making phone calls. We were doing the live thing, the fun stuff. The fun stuff now. I guess it's not really that fun, but you know what I'm saying. You have been here. It was you that did that. It was you that got the loans deferred once again, and it was you that are going to get the 10K grants with our voices being heard come this election time. It's a crucial 6 months, people. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Get into this. Please, we need all the help that we can get from you guys. Together, we can do this. With stations like mine and stations like Jason McElhone pushing forth with our congressmen, we become a louder voice so that they can hear us, to see our side and basically understand small businesses more, because they don't really have a whole lot of time getting out there in the real world for small businesses. They don't. I mean, they can do their Photoshops here and there. We see Guzman doing that all the time. Photoshop in here, photo op here, but she's being led to this place and led to that place where there's a narrative behind that. We are the real, the boots to the ground kind of channels here that are like, okay, this is how it really is. And we're able to show them the real meat and potatoes of where we stand on our small businesses in a group, in a united unity with a group setting. And all your comments down below mean everything to me, and I'm sure they're reading it too. So guys, I want to say once again, I thank you all for watching. We love you all, and we hope that you have a very blessed night. Somebody say, hey, we got Tom Brady back. Buccaneers got Tom. I'm just so happy about this. I just can't even. It just came out like, I remember when we got Tom Brady in the Bucs. We got Tom when I first got him a couple years ago, dude. I was making videos on it. I was like, we got Tom Brady. We're going to the Super Bowl. People were like, yeah, you're bandwagon. No, I'm not a bandwagon. And they thought I was crazy, thinking Tom's old and washed up. Tom's old and washed up. Now we all know he's not old and washed up. He won a Super Bowl, and he was MVP. And then went last year. He was almost the MVP of the league. Aaron Rodgers beat him by a very thin amount. Very thin, Aaron. I think Brady deserved it, but we got him back, and I'm just so happy about that too. And it's something that I wasn't expecting, kind of like sometimes when we don't expect those things we've been wanting. EIDL loan forgiveness would be great. It would be even better than me getting Tom Brady back on the Buccaneers. I agree with that. But when all is said and done, I want to say once again, thank you all for watching. And can somebody say, hey, I still want my 10K.
Yeah.